Out the mouth at the wrong time. You want to use the podium? No, it's all right. I don't mind bending over. All right. My full legal name is John Francis Briscoe.
You have to look that up on the paper?
I was born in 1891, and I'm kind of forgetful. In January, so I don't know how many years ago now. And his son's name is John Francis Briscoe also. He was senior, I'm junior. So when I was 27 years old, I got this notice from Tewksbury stating that I had to report out there, and they classified me as 1. How do you like that? You know, 1. That means that I was primed to go overseas or fight for the cause. So anyhow, I went back home anyhow, and I told my 2 sisters that I was going to go off and fight. Of course, everybody at that time wanted to defend the country. It was an honorable thing to do. My father kept a diary of what he did in the war, and that's what all these papers and so forth are all about. Unfortunately, I don't read French. These maps are what he got over in France, and these are copies that I had made. They're all in French. I don't know what they say, but anyhow, I hope they're right side up. So all I can do is read his diary to you people. I'll do the best I can. Before I begin, I wrote to Michelin because some of the towns that I have listed, I bought this map, and let me back up. They didn't have Le Havre on this map, which was further west. So I bought this map, which had Le Havre on it, and some of the towns that I had on this map that my father was in weren't listed on this map. So I wrote to Michelin and I emailed them. They never responded. So I emailed them a second time. They never responded. Why, I don't know. I don't know whether the towns no longer exist. I don't know what happened. So anyhow, I have this map of France. That to me is of no value because if I want to go to like 12 of these towns, I can never find them. All right, let me begin anyhow. On Saturday, January 12, 1918, you arrived at Camp Devens. Took the trolley from Collinsville to the Lowell train station and took the train out to Camp Devens. On Sunday, you went home. Following week, Saturday and Sunday, January 26 and 27, because he had gone back to Devens again, he had a pass to go home. Then he went back to Devens again. On Thursday, February 7th, he left Devens for Camp Green by train, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Saturday, February 10th, it took 3 days to get there. He arrived at Camp Green at 12 a.m. and was assigned to the 60th Machine Gun Company. On Saturday night, he was sick and went to the infirmary. Sunday morning, I went to the infirmary again and fainted while waiting for my turn to see the doctor. Monday, February 12th, he was put on special duty working on the tents. And because he was a carpenter, he made mechanic on March 15, 1918. He left Camp Green on Saturday, April 5th, so he had training in between from March 15th to April 5th, 1918. He arrived at Camp Merritt on Sunday, April 6th. That was at Cresskill, Bergen City, New Jersey. Received a pass to go to New York Wednesday and Thursday, April 9th and 10th, and stayed at the Willis Hotel. So it was, you know, basic training was really tough at that time. Friday, April 11th, the company was placed under guard. I never found out what under guard meant. On Sunday, April 13th, he took the barrack bags to the railroad station. Monday, April 14th, the first call came at 4 a.m., left the camp at 6 a.m., and marched to Tenafly. No idea what Tenafly was. I couldn't find it on the computer, and loaded on the trains. Left station at 7 a.m., landed in Hoboken about 9 a.m., was lined up in single file and checked off as we crossed the gangplank. I crossed the gangplank about 10 a.m. onto the Canopiuk, an English boat. Carried about 1,400 men besides the crew. Pulled from the dock on Tuesday, April 16th at 4 p.m., nobody allowed on deck. Now, on this troop ship, all you can do is lie in your cot or your hammock, whatever you had, and do nothing. Probably stay below deck. He didn't like this idea. So he volunteered to work in the baker shop. Thursday, April 18th. He received $1.50 a day extra. During Thursday night, the convoy was formed. 13 boats in the convoy. 5 are carrying Canadian soldiers, 5 boats. Saturday, April 20th, we received our escort, which consisted of 7 submarine chasers and 1 cruiser. The North Carolina chasers were all English boats. Thursday, April 25th, sunk a submarine about 4 p.m. The sub scraped a rudder on our boat. Friday, April 26th in the afternoon, sighted land, the coast of Wales. Saturday night, April 27th, received pay for working on the boat. Sunday, April 28th, early in the morning, docked at Liverpool. Started to unload the boat about 8 a.m. I was put in a detail to help load officers' bedrolls and our barrack bags. Company went to the station for the train to Southampton. I went to the station at 1 p.m. and the train pulled out at 3 p.m. Arrived at Southampton station, which was at the docks on Monday morning at 2 a.m. Unloaded the baggage and marched to a rest camp about 3 miles from the station. Monday, April 29th, received passes and went downtown. Tuesday, April 30th, went downtown again. Saw my first prisoners of war here. Had them working around the grounds. Lots of English soldiers here that were wounded. And this was where? Southampton. Wednesday, May 1st, rolled packs and marched to docks and loaded on Austria land, there's a ship, and crossed English Channel. It took all night for this trip. It was very foggy. Next morning, a small boat rammed into the end of our boat but did no damage. There were a lot of horses on this boat from the British. British soldiers that had been on furlough and were returning. Thursday, May 2nd, arrived at Le Havre about 2 p.m. Unloaded our baggage. Company went to a rest camp for the night. I stayed on the dock with the baggage. Friday, April 3rd, auto trucks took baggage to the station. Left station about 2 p.m. We were all loaded into a boxcar, 35 men in my car, so crowded that we couldn't lie down. That sounds like what the Germans did to the Jewish people in World War II. Saturday, May 4th, arrived about 6 p.m. at Bar-sur-Anby. Pitched tents near the station. Short break for breath. Flip the page. I need a page flipper. Sunday, May 5th, marched about 20 kilometers to Champignon. if I don't pronounce the French words properly, I'm not French, I'm Irish, so please excuse me. While here, we had a lot of training. Saturday, June 1st, left Champignon about 2 p.m. and went back to Bar-sur-Anby and camped here for the night. Sunday, June 2nd, loaded on flat cars and left the station at 4 p.m. Monday, June 3rd, arrived at La Chapelle about 10 a.m. Unloaded baggage off cars. While here, I saw my first German airplane. Left here about 1 p.m. and hiked about 10 kilometers to Corchou. Had lots of target practice here. Wednesday, June 12th, started at 6 p.m. for the front. Hiked until about 2 a.m. Thursday, June 13th, arrived here at 2 a.m., slept in French barracks. German planes dropped shells in the morning. Left here about 7 p.m. and continued to the front. Friday, June 14th, arrived at German Quet at 3 a.m. Was close to the front here. Had to stay inside during daylight. Saturday, June 15th, company went to the trenches. Monday, June 17th, the Germans made a raid on our lines. The fight lasted about 2 hours, from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. No one was injured in my company. Company G lost a few men while in typographical error. While in Germany, on the front, I went to Lavalin for the paper every morning. Now, I looked this up. Lavalin, to me, is about 20 miles from where he was stationed. And I can't picture my father walking 20 miles to go get a paper every morning. But, so there's a mistake there someplace. Friday, June 28th. Company relieved by Company A of the 13th Machine Gun Battalion. Company came to German Quet and stayed until dark and then started back. Sunday, June 30th, arrived in Solly. At 3 a.m., big mansion and mill here that the Germans had mined. Company left here July 1st at 4 a.m. and arrived in Colhens. Moved the baggage and so forth to Gerbipal on July 3rd. Was to move by auto truck on the 4th, but they didn't show up. Morrison and I went to a Canadian lumber camp about 6 kilometers from Gerardimir and had a good feed here. Friday, July 5th, loaded on trucks about 12 p.m. I can't pronounce this one. P-O-U-X-E-U-X. Puyol? That's as bad as trying to say poutine. Some of the boys took French leave while here and went to Epinal. Saturday, July 13th, about 9 a.m., started back for the front. Landed in Biffontaine at 3 p.m., slept in a hayloft. Sunday, July 14th, about 3 p.m., started to hike again to St. Odile. Arrived here on the 15th at 2 a.m. Tuesday to July 16th, moved over to St. Blaise, about 2 hours walk. Sergeant Stevens and Glover were sent back to the States to instruct. Saturday, July 20th, about 2 p.m., started for the front. Company went to the trenches that night at La Haute. I stayed at Le Jour. Nothing much doing here. Couch shot Sergeant Stockberger. A white couch shot him is beyond me. He must have cracked or something. While here, I went to Rhone a tape a few times. He really seemed to have a good time. War there. I don't think he saw too much action, but I had a lot of party time. Wednesday, August 21st, company relieved by a French machine gun company. Infantry by Negroes, the 92nd Division, hiked back to La Hite Nouvelle. Thursday, August 22nd, left La Hite Nouvelle and moved to Jean Mesnil. Arrived here about 5 a.m., lots of plum orchards. Friday, August 23rd, left Mesnil and moved to Memoril arrived at 3 a.m. Left here at 2 p.m. and hiked to Denault. Arrived at 2 a.m. on the 25th. Sunday, August 25th, Denault. Were those bomb flashes going off?
Hi.
Take that camera away from her. I want to get rid of the duck. Left here on the 29th in trucks. Monday, August 30th, landed in Rowville at 3 a.m. About 10 a.m., moved to Lanierville, Nil. About 1 hour walk. Lots of training here and how to go over the top. Got paid in this town. He made $40 a month, and after all kinds of deductions, he ended up with $18. I have it here someplace.
Just like today.
Friday, September 6th, left here at 7 p.m. and hiked to Monacourt, arrived at 3 a.m. Saturday, September 7th, big aviation field here. Left here at 6 p.m., hiked through Nancy to Maxville, raining hard, arrived at 3 a.m. Sunday, September 8th, Maxville. I went to Nancy for a few hours, left at dark. Arrived Monday, September 9th, at Sager Race at 3 a.m. At dark, started again. Tuesday, September 7th, arrived about 4 a.m. in Woods, near Trumbull Court, raining very hard. Left here on the night of the 11th for the front. Still raining. Company had gone. Am I boring anybody? Sure. I'll quit if you want to. On a head of train. About 12 of the guns opened up for the St. Michael Drive. Stopped at Martin Court at 3 a.m. Left about 12 a.m. for the front. Saw lots of prisoners. Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays at September 12th, 13th, and 14th, Regnieville, while here, saw 2 American planes shot down. Saw my first tank in action September 14th while in line for dinner. Those planes set 2 balloons on fire and plated machine guns on us. Moved up near the front at night. Sunday, September 15th. Stayed in woods near Viville. Germans shelled all around us after dark. We were relieved by the 77th Division and we moved back to Regnieville. Monday, September 16th and 17th. Night moved further back to woods near Trumbull Court. Stayed here for 2 days. Wednesday, September 18th, after dark, we moved to St. Etienne, arrived there on the morning of the 19th. Friday, September 20th, in the morning, we moved to Liverdun, stayed there for the 20th to the 27th. Friday, September 27th, at night we moved the barracks below Trumbull Court. Saturday, September 28th, moved to Lay St. Remy, stayed there from the 20th to the 4th. They did a lot of moving. Don't think they did any fighting, but they did a lot of moving. Thursday, October 4th, loaded on the trucks and moved towards the Argonne front. Saturday, October 5th, got off the trucks and went to a woods called Silvercrest near the town of Blencourt. Sunday, October 6th, hiked 4 hours towards the front, towards the woods near Avercourt. Stayed there 4 days, rained 2 nights. German planes dropped 3 bombs near us on Thursday night, no one hurt. Friday, October 12th, moved towards the front. Slept that night on a hill behind a tank near Marfakhorn. Saturday, October 13th, moved on again to woods near something or other Argus. Huns shelled us very often. October 18th, moved back to woods, something or other of Montfaucon. German planes dropped bombs on the nights of the 21st and the 22nd. Sunday the 20th, went to outdoor mass, raining very hard. Priest told us not to take off our hats, raining all day. Stayed in a dugout. While here the Germans shelled hard, so we had to move further back. October 22nd, moved back to the front 3 miles to another woods. Stayed here until the 26th. While here the German planes dropped bombs every night. No one from my company was hurt. October 26th, moved back to the front again. And something or other, the 4th Division. Slept near a windmill on a road to Nantelois, mud about 1 foot deep here. Huns shot some anti-aircraft shells over. Piece of shrapnel landed about 2 feet from me while I was asleep. Charlie Slowey wounded on the 26th of October. October 27th in the morning, very foggy. So we moved to the woods near Sipsigas. Stayed here until November 5th. On the 29th, I saw a big air fight. One of our planes set on fire. On the 30th, it was reported that Austria wanted peace. Sunday, November 3rd. Moved towards the front to a woods where the Germans had a lot of billets. Raining very hard. I got soaked. Slept in a hole about 3 feet deep with Perry. This was the place where Charlie got wounded. Saw Neff's grave, the fellow that got killed with Charlie. Monday, November 4th, went back and brought up the other case on. November 5th, trains moved up towards the Meuse River. I stayed here and slept in officer's house, rain. Moved up to Clary-le-Brand. While here I saw a number of prisoners. Friday, November 8th, moved to Duns-sur-Meuse. This was a big German railhead. Crossed pontoon bridges over the Meuse River. Saw some Germans that had been cut to pieces. We pitched tents in the riverbank. By the way, if any of you people are related to a Ernst Schultz, this is his gas mask. This is a World War I issue gas mask. That's Ernst gas mask. That button is not his. You know how you always bring home war souvenirs? This is what my father brought home. He pitched tents on the riverbank. Yeah. This is the page. Sunday, November 10th. In the morning, we got orders to move to Leipzig. Got within 3 miles of the place. The Germans shelled us so hard that we had to turn and go back about 2 miles. Started for Leipzig again after dark. Went to a woods just outside the town. The Germans shelled here all night, but no one was hurt. Moved November 11th, moved back from Leipzig in the morning about 3 miles. Heard about the armistice being signed. Moved up to Leipzig, slept in the German bed. 40 civilians living in this town. Germans were on a hill just about 300 yards away. We could hear them singing. November 13th, got relieved by the 32nd Division and we moved back to Lyon. Turned everything in the 16th, but had to draw them again. On the 18th, civilians had to move back into town. Saturday the 23rd, moved to Remouville. Lots of crosses for German graves here. Sunday, November 24th, moved to Grand Filly. Monday, November 25th, the Spring Court saw the first AME train since the armistice. Lots of guns here that the Germans had turned over. November 27th, moved to Colmy. December 6th, moved up to Long-Laville. December 7th, moved to Arlange, crossed the French line about 9:30 a.m. on the 7th. Went to Mass on the 8th, sermon was in German. Sent flowers and some money on the 9th. December 10th, moved to Dolheim. Got relieved here by the 33rd Division. December 16th, moved back to Esch. First night here, slept in a hotel, cost 2 marks. December 25th, night, had Christmas dinner at the Custo Hotel. Cost 5 of us, 92 francs. January 8th, left Esch for my furlough about 5 p.m. in boxcars. Passed through Nietzsche, arrived at Nancy next morning about 6 a.m. Had a bath there in hot underground springs. Left here about 6 p.m. Arrived in Aix-les-Bains on January 10th at 6 p.m. Roomed at the Villa Cochets and shot at the Union Hotel. January 11th, hung around town. January 12th, went to Chambéry. January 13th, Monat, Rivad. January 14th, saw Aix in Arm to the Haunt Castle in the PM. January 15th, crossed Lake Bouget to the Abbey. Afternoon, brought some souvenirs. I think that's where my aunt's cameos came from. January 16th around the Y, January 7th. Go ahead, take it, I'll let you. We'll wait. Hello? That doesn't fit. Father has a smaller head than I do. This is for display here. Harvey? Okay. I have a 7 3/4 hat. This is 6 3/4. This is a little bit smaller. It just sits on top. This is my father's gas mask. I was watching Pawn Stars yesterday, and somebody had a World War II gas mask they were trying to sell, just as I had to go to the bathroom. I have no idea how much money they got for it. And this is a World War I gas mask. Has to come out of here somehow or another. Now I'm gonna. If you can see it, it's in there anyhow. It doesn't want to come out, but it's in there.
What does the tag say?
Instructions, record card, tape for repairs, safety pin for adjusting harness. My pants are a little bit small.
That's because maybe it's small.
But, I got the thing that fits all. These are the leggings that they used to use on their pants. So you can buy the short pants and you wear the leggings. I have the winter and summer ones here. And here's his jacket. My son had this appraised. The belt buckle, $125. Don't lose it, Harvey. Here's his jacket.
The American.
And he was a private, okay? It stinks of mothballs for almost 100 years. And the 2 stripes mean that he served overseas for 2 years. That's what these inverted stripes mean. He was a private. And what the private means is that after he finished basic training, he got the stripe. No basic training, nobody has a stripe. The Red Cross gave you these bags to bring home your belongings in. So that's what these bags are from. So here's more belt buckles. This got mid-ons, that's the American one. That's on his pants there. This one is all silver, but this one here is like brass and silver. But this one here, un trio vest. It's got a crown on it, so that's probably American also, I don't know. Okay. And this epaulet probably his, but I'd be damned if I know where it goes to, because I couldn't see where it came off of in his uniform. But anyhow, you have this, so. January 18th, around the Y, checked out at 1:31 p.m., head of Bath. January 19th, parade in the AM, Nanning Street for Wilson, around the Y. Rolled, packed, and loaded on trains to 7:30 p.m. Train was made up with German coaches. On trains until the 22nd. Arrived back at Esch at 9:30 p.m. Went to the February 27th. So from January 22nd to February 27th, I don't know where he was, but he went to the city of Luxembourg to see a horse show and a football game. April 30th, General Pershing reviewed the 5th Division. May 11th, received orders to move to Brest. May 12th, left Esch for Paris for 3 days leave at 2 p.m. Changed trains at Betancourt for something or other and arrived there about 10:30 p.m. Left here and arrived at a French camp at 2:30 a.m. Left at 6 a.m. and arrived in Paris at 1 p.m. May 14th, hung around town. May 15th, a.m. walking trip to NASDA, NHASA, Lion Monument and War Pictures. In p.m. Versailles, or Versailles, how you say it. May 16th, auto trip around town. May 17th, around town. May 18th, left around 9:50 a.m. Arrived in Toul at 1:30 a.m. May 19th, Esch. July 6, 1919, left Esch for Brest at 12 p.m. Left Brest on Sunday, July 13th, loaded on the Aquitania. Sailed at 9:50 p.m. Arrived in New York Saturday, July 19th. Laid out in the harbor all night, pulled into port Sunday morning. Loaded on ferry, crossed East River, and loaded on the train for Camp Mills. Arrived at 3 p.m. He was on Mineola on Long Island, about 10 miles east of New York City, where he was discharged and returned to Draken. After that's his wartime story. The town of Draken was so grateful to him, they put his name on a plaque over there by Hannaford. These were his dog tags, here. This is his watch, which is kind of falling apart, but you know, the ending still works.
Wow.
It's got his name on it, John Briscoe, Draken, Mass. Everything still ticks away, even though the crystal's broken on it. I have paperwork here. The serial number on the watch, so on and so on the watch. It's a Waltham watch. So I have all that. This picture was taken, I don't know where it was taken. It says Paul Flesh up in the top left on the building, it's a sign. It's not in English. It has all the men in this company.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And he's up here in the back, over here. I got his head. I have that. I have regiment letters. This is the 5th Infantry Division. I'm going to read them, you can if you're interested in it. This is the little diary of the 5th Division. He saved everything. This Sergeant Thomas Waldron from Roxbury, Mass. is a friend of his. Here's my father here. This will be after the war. I don't know where it was taken. A lot of his men friends, right here. He, well, here's his pay book here. If I can find out. Individual pay record book. No, there's another book someplace. This doesn't say how much he got. Oh, another picture of him. No, he's not in that picture, he must have taken a picture. Notice of call and to appear for physical exam. Local Board, Division Number 19, State of Mass, Tewksbury, Mass. Town Hall, Tewksbury, Mass. Your order number is 730. You will report to the office of the local board for physical examination the 27th of September, 1917 at 9:30 o'clock. Date of mailing, 22nd of September, 1917. My date of birth is 22nd of September. Strange. It wasn't 1917 though. After the war, there's a picture of my father again. After the war, my father started doing carpentry, and he built the St. Mary's Church out in Collinsville.
Oh.
During the Depression, he worked for the Fire and Savings Bank, and as the bank foreclosed on people's properties, him and his crew would go over and remodel the properties to be sold at a later date. And I don't have any with me, but during the war, you had ration books.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the Fire and Savings Bank was in charge of the ration books.
Oh.
And guess who was in charge of collecting the ration books? My father.
Yeah, oh.
So guess what happened to a lot of the ration, what do you call them? Stamps. They got recycled.
Oh.
They got used 2 or 3 times. My uncle was a funeral director, so he got unlimited gas coupons. And my father got unlimited gas coupons. And butter and meat, we had a lot of those. I never went without them as a little kid growing up. Getting recycled, ration coupons. My grandfather had a big old inboard on a lake up in southern New Hampshire. And up to like 1944, he was driving that boat around the lake. Everybody was paddling a canoe or rowing the boat. My grandfather was driving his big old inboard around the lake. Finally, somebody said to him, "You know, PJ, there's a gas ration thing on." "Yeah, so? Somebody's going to say something to you pretty soon." So he finally got wise and he decided to not put the boat in the water after that. And because they would have come down pretty hard on him, the government, for this gas. How are you getting this gas? And my uncle, who had a funeral home, he was bringing the gas up in the back of his big funeral car that he had. And we had a big 55-gallon drum buried in the banking up there. And they would just keep filling that and then siphon it down to the boat in the water. It was fun. Just not talking about that. My father was a very outstanding up and up man. You people never broke the law, did you? No, never. So anyhow, that's my story. I think I told you everything I could possibly tell you. I know I never knew. I found this little notebook down in the safe, and it was kind of buried in the safe, and I never thought too much of it. I dug it out one day and I started to read it. I said, "Damn it!" I said, "That's my father's diary from World War I." The book wasn't in that good shape, so I very carefully typed everything onto the paper here, and this is his engineering department, 1917. This keeps falling apart, but it's his compass. It works, but it keeps falling apart. else do I have here? My Aunt Delia was the biggest person in this picture. My Aunt Mary was the next person over here. My father with the dress like on, he was the baby of the family. And Delia was a teacher in Dragut. From 19, what is it, Harvey? From 19 what?
I don't know, you know. 1920, 1902.
1902, 1911. Then she went to Lowell, taught at the old Pawtucket School from 1912 to 1940 something, 40 I guess it was, and she fell and broke her hip. And gangrene set in, and she died Christmas Day of 1942. This is Soldier's Mail. I have no idea where it is. It's in Paris. Dear Mother, everything is rosy and I'm feeling fine. From my father to Mrs. Sarah Briscoe, that was his mother. The Opera House, this one here. Dear sister, sent this to his sister's second day here, having a great time. Leave 70 a.m. for Esh. Look at these modern cars. Boy, oh boy. Dear sister, this is what Paris looks like on a busy day, and every day is busy here. Do you remember these cars when you were a kid?
Now, were those soldiers on foot all the time?
A lot of them were,
Going
yeah,
from,
yeah.
every
Yeah,
time
they
they
walked and
said
walked
so
and
many
walked.
miles, they were walking?
Then they get lucky and they get a ride on the train, or they get lucky and the truck would give them a ride. On Dorf, Spain's, a health resort close to where we are staying, hot springs here. View of the town from where I'm staying for a few days. Cafe Modern, Dahlheim, there's the SS Aquitania, right there. Landed yesterday, was sent to Camp Mills, expect to go to Devon's in a couple of days. Came across on this boat, had a fine trip, will wait a little tonight, under quarantine today. Look, there it is, there's his diary. There's his diary. Right there. There it is. What do I have here? This is a letter from to Major General Hanson Eli from General John J. Persing. And there's a Frank. One Frank, I don't know what to buy you today, but anyhow. Not the only euros today? That's probably not worth anything now.
It was what?
I think it was 25 cents when I was in high school.
Now, I know this is one of my ancestors, but for the life of me, I have no idea who it is.
Oh, you could give her any name then. Is there something on the back of it?
No, Kimball's
Nothing.
photography studio, it might be my grandmother. I don't know. What else do I got here? What's this? No, I guess that's it. They paid $500 to they paid $500 to Delia Briscoe, my aunt, to Sarah Briscoe, her mother. Must be a death thing. Oh well, that's my father's history.
Very
I hope I didn't bore you people too much. Mother's Day on the Rhine, Army of Occupation insignia.
At his trip,
No, this is Mother's Day on the Rhine, to the Militant Home, so forth and so on. All kinds of stuff here.
his trip to England was kind of brought me back to my experience, because I left on the Alexander Patch troop ship to go to Europe, and we ended up at Southampton. And I took in, but this was after the Second World War. But when we get to, on the way over, I volunteered to work in the clerk, and they, when they got off to Southampton, they asked if, those, only certain one could leave the ship. I couldn't, because I was only only had to be an officer or a sergeant, so they wouldn't. But I was responsible for keeping track of those that left the ship. In the meantime, I got very sick. And so they asked if everybody was on, had returned from to the ship so we could go on to Bremerhaven. I never even checked. Yeah, everybody did. It was quite an experience, but the ship, I think it took us several days. It was kind of a rough trip going on. And you would sleep like exactly the way John explained, like a hammock.
Yeah.
And you had 2 or 3 high, and I would be at one, and I didn't know who was below me or above me, and they spoke foreign languages, and you always worried whether you'd get a knife in your back, but I survived. John, you've got quite a collection, and I'm amazed at how you were able to save. I'm still saving. I got my Eisenhower jacket, but that doesn't fit me anymore.
Well, this doesn't fit me either. I've grown a little bit.
Any questions anyone? Oh, John?
Yes, sir.
Few questions. Number one,
Uh-oh.
he had to report to Tewksbury.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why Tewksbury lined up?
That's where I'm gonna call it the draft
The
board
draft
was.
board was in Tewksbury.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume.
Yeah, that's all I can tell you.
The other question is, this fellow Slowey, did you know, he mentioned this fellow Charlie Slowey, did you know anything about him? Was he from Lowell or anything like that?
That name sounds familiar.
He was postmaster in Lowell back in the 50s, I think. And he had an insurance business at one time, too.
Okay.
Could be family.
I got drafted Lowell, and I had 2 or 3 deferments. My dad, we're a family of 10, and my dad wasn't able to work. But in the meantime, I was courting Lois, and Lois wasn't about to wait forever to get married. So ultimatum. She said, either we get married or else she said, you know, you can go your way, I'll go mine. So I had to, you know, I had to give up my responsibility to my family, which was a decision that was tough to make, but they managed. And,
Charles A. Slowey, private. He was wounded October 27th of 1918. That's all I have. Wounded in action. S-L-O-W-E-Y.
That's the same spelling.
any other questions?
They had the red lines through the map, is that the, basically where he went?
I kinda highlighted best I could. See, what happened was, I went to 3 different printing places to try to make copies of this map, these original maps, and because it was horrible condition, they were afraid to run it through the machines. It was gonna fall apart. But there's a new place on Middlesex Street, up near, KFC is up there. And the guy says, well, he says, we'll make a try at it. They take all the rips and so forth. And he said, I don't want to be responsible. And I says, no, nothing, I don't care. Okay, so we ran through the machine and it came out beautiful, except it was dark. We couldn't make it any lighter. They made like 4 copies, and that's the best they could get out of it. So I says, fine. So I took it home and I sat down with my, knowing where he was there, and I tried to highlight every place he was. And that's the best I could get. And that's where he was. I mean, you know, I don't know whether any of you people went to France or not. If you were in any of those areas, maybe that's where my father was. I don't know.
I was stationed in south of Bordeaux, a small town called Langon. That was during the Second World War, it's sort of like a,
You might find it in there.
it was a small town that during the war, I guess it wasn't affected too much. The Germans hadn't got quite that far down. But the boys and I had an apartment there. And
He's in the army, he's in the
We had-
apartment there.
we had an apartment that we rented, and it was kind of, when Lois was coming over, I says, to her, I said, you know, that it's gonna be tough, like this, because we have no toilet, we have a sink, and we have a shower, but we didn't have a toilet. And, but within our, we had a bidet, we had a bidet with no toilet. So she said, I'm coming anyway, but in the meantime, we had to use an actual potty, and I had to be the one to go out in the outhouse to get rid of the potty.
Why don't you use a helmet?
So, but she was coming over whether I liked it or not, so it worked out with our son, our firstborn was born in France.
Oh, wow.
Was born in France?
Yep,
Or was conceived in France?
he was conceived in the States and born in France.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
And then our second
I'm not
child
going any further than that.
was conceived in France and born in the States. I was able to get out of the army 3 months early because they wouldn't transfer her by air if she was beyond 6 months. So they sent us home 6 months, before 6 months, because, so that got me out of the service like about 5 months early. I worked that one out good. Any other questions, John?
No, I don't.
John?
I have-
Right.
Could I have something?
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it. My father was in World War I.
He was.
Yeah, and my parents never talked about it. I never saw anything like you've got. But all my mother would say was he got separated from his group and hiding in some woods and watching German soldiers march by, and he would have been killed if they had caught him.
Yeah.
He was from Maine, he was a farm boy from Maine.
I don't think my father actually saw any combat that he was actually fired his gun at.
Oh, yeah,
Because it seems like whenever something happened, they moved back,
yeah.
you know?
So thank you very much.
Yeah, bombs, so they moved back.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't think, I don't know, I could be wrong, but
If you got a bomb exploding nearby, you're kind of close to it.
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, if you're in the receiving end rather than the giving end, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think he did any giving, I think he just, you know, they just kept retreating. That's what I think. But he's not, he died in '73, so I can't ask him,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, thank you very much, John. For your,
But chapter 2 will start next month. Harvey's gonna talk about his experiences.
Yeah.
Where is Briscoe Square or whatever you mentioned in Draken? Did you say there was a place?
The monument over by Hannaford, you know, the little triangle there?
Yeah,
There's a stone monument there.
oh, okay,
And my name was on the stone.
okay.
like,
Well,
Well, your father's name.
Your father's?
well, it's the same name, so,
Same name.
it's the same name, so why can't I say it's my name? I used to tell the kids in school, I taught in Dragon High School.
Because you're still alive.
Dump development.
That's why.
I told the kids that I fought in the war and they put my name in the monument. The kids believed it.
John, what's the
Yeah, great teacher.
Happy Square.
Here in,
Yeah.
Happy Square.
the monument there.
Yeah.
At the Happy
We
Square.
fire there.
In the triangle.
Oh, yeah.
I never liked that at all.
Right there in the little triangle there, Happy Square,
Before,
just before Hannaford.
It's got no island in